Alright, so the video you guys have been asking for, a little tour of the 170, what it is, what all it has, all the upgrades and mods it has to it. Steph's gonna go ahead and take us on a little tour now. I'm John from Fly 8 Mike Alpha, CFI turned airline pilot turned back to CFI. Come along on my journey, flying Alaska to Florida and beyond.
This is a 1956 170B. It's actually the airplane I learned from zero to fly in this airplane. My good friend taught me very patiently. It's got quite a few mods, which makes it a really nice, especially Alaskan bush plane. For starters, the biggest thing, it's got the Lycoming 0360 180 horse. And that's a really nice upgrade that a lot of 170s have. 180 horsepower works really well for this airplane. We've got the 76-inch Hartzell prop, aluminum. If Hartzell, you're watching, I would love an 80-inch carbon Trailblazer prop. So put me on the list for that if you've got one laying around. We've got a 180 landing gear. Right now, I'm using the 26-inch Goodyears. Really good for, they're a little bit harder rubber, but really good still for landing on beaches or gravel bars. Or all
they work good for pavement, actually. They'll last a little longer on pavement, but they're definitely not as soft as the Alaska bush wheels to really absorb all the rocks and all the really rough terrain that those things will.
But they do have these really cool grooves here that show you the tread wear. By the way, Chris or Corey from Airframes Alaska, if you're watching, I would love to upgrade to some 29 bush wheels, and you can go ahead and just FedEx them on to the Fly 8 Mike Alpha Florida address and we'll get them all mounted up. We've got these nice big access panels to the engine. I just got the annual done. We're over 2,000 hours, but compressions are great and it's running great, so we're just gonna leave it as it is. 175 wings with the long range tanks, so 53 gallons, 49 usable, makes for a good 4 hours of cruise time. A larger leading edge, port and stole kit with the wingtips, which makes it really nice for shorter takeoffs and landings. We got the wing fences that are part of the Horton Stoll kit. It's got really bright strobe lights, LEDs, landing lights, and taxi lights, and your regular incandescent nav lights. This baggage door is pretty sweet. It just allows you to load the airplane a lot more efficiently and gives you really good access to the extended baggage, which is right here, which gives you a lot more room. I typically use it for sleeping bags and camping gear and stuff like that. Just the lighter things because you don't want to load it too tail heavy. My little Delta has these love handles that are pretty sweet. You can use these to push the airplane around, and you know, I don't typically need help doing that, but every now and then.
We have video evidence suggesting otherwise.
Sometimes if it's downhill, I can move it. And they're pretty standard 170 tail, which I think is beautiful. This plane actually came with this bush wheel for the tail wheel, which works really great. I broke the spring last winter and so replaced that with an original Cessna part, which is pretty cool, and added this ring for the tail tie down. And let's meet up in the cockpit and I'll show you the panel. One of the big improvements that I had done on this airplane is redoing the panel and made it instrument rated. I went ahead and got my instrument rating last year and figured I should also have my plane IFR rated as well, which has actually helped us quite a bit on this trip already. It's got a couple of radios. This was my old KX155 that I kept in here, and added this WAS 430 that interfaces with these G5s. One of these serves as an HSI, which is slave to the magnetometer that's installed on the wingtip, and then This one's your attitude indicator, and then it's got all the other information you need. Really useful tool for doing any kind of flying. Really, it's been great. We've got the iPad, and it's just a regular iPad with Garmin Pilot, and we use this quite a lot. It's really useful to have it right there. EDM 900, it just tells you everything about the engine, each cylinder. It's been really useful to know exactly the temps of every cylinder, and gives you lean and peak, and it gives you oil temp and all of that good information. Of course, our steam gauges are backups. This VOR is our backup VOR, and it works with the KX155. And then we've got our regular altimeter and airspeed and all that stuff.
And my favorite addition that I made to the airplane was I wanted to add the Garmin GDL52 because I wanted some sort of backup attitude indicator from where we're flying down here through all that crazy weather. And so we've got safe taxis pulled up right now, but you can do synthetic vision, which I really like. And so we've got kind of a little backup attitude indicator there. It ties in with XM weather. We finally got the XM subscription all set up. And we also have XM radio now with it. Of course, you get ADS-B in, so you get all the traffic targets. You can see a couple floating around right now.
Yeah.
And we get the ADS-B weather in down around the lower 48. Didn't help us much in Canada, but Alaska and the lower 48 has been great.
Another really cool thing is you'll load up, if you're doing instrument work, you load up your approach on the 430, and then you go here and you pull up, say we want to do an instrument approach to Bellingham. So you can just pull it up, and you can pull up your procedures if you want to do the ILS 16. And it's really awesome because you have it loaded in the 430. It shows up in your G5 right here, tells you exactly where to go, and then you can also follow along as backup and follow the instrument procedure here.
Yeah, so you've got geo-referenced approach plates on there.
It just makes it very comprehensive and very accurate for your instrument approaches.
Makes it pretty darn easy. It's definitely an easy airplane to fly under IFR, even though there's no autopilot. Transponder's a little bit old and the comm panel's a little bit old, but hopefully we can upgrade that in the near future here. We'll get a little bit better audio quality on the videos too when we upgrade that back to a Garmin audio panel.
My favorite addition to this plane are my FAA approved rotor extensions that we've
The only thing that makes stuff fit in this airplane is a 3 to 4 inch thick booster seat,
this is an
back.
This is a Cub seat.
And rudder pedal extensions. It is 100% rated for anyone 5 feet tall and under. Now
I'm 5'2", but it just makes it more comfortable for me. So yeah, there you go.
5'2" and a quarter, right?
5'2" and 5/8.
5'2" and 5/8 to be very specific. So that's really the tour, the grand tour of the 170. Not much else in here, aside from a couple camera mounts. Of course, we will talk about all that in another video you can look for on the channel here.
One other thing we were going to show you was our flap handle.
Johnson bar flap, 40 degrees of flap.
Yeah, 40 degrees of flap, and then also our ski wheel pump edition is right in there. And I actually do have the ski wheels for it back up in Alaska. Super fun to fly this plane on skis. In case you're wondering what these were, there are hydraulic ski wheel lines that we use when we want to convert it into an awesome winter bush plane.
So luckily we're not doing that this winter. We're going to stay in the lower 48 where it is warm.
Because we don't want John to turn into an icicle.
Pretty much. Maybe next year. Maybe next year when I adapt to Alaska more, we can put skis on it and do some ski flying up there.
It's actually really fun.
So that about sums it up. If you guys got any more questions on the airplane, leave it in the comments right below. You guys know what to do. Like the video if you do, subscribe over there right next to Steph's face, down there on the right. If you have not subscribed already, hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified when we post our latest episodes, and keep track of where we are, fly@mikealpha.com/trip for the live tracker of where we are on this trip across the lower 48.